In 334 BCE, Alexander the Great stood on the shores of the Hellespont, gazing across the water towards Asia. His heart raced with ambition, knowing he would soon challenge the vast Persian Empire. The cool breeze from the sea invigorated his men, who prepared to march eastward, unaware of the legacy they were about to create. Alexander's troops moved swiftly across Asia Minor, their spirits high after successive victories. The scorching sun beat down on them as they crossed deserts and scaled mountains. Alexander's strategic genius shone as he outmaneuvered the Persians, with his men admiring his courage and intellect. At Issus in 333 BCE, Alexander faced King Darius III in a decisive battle. The soldiers felt the cold morning air turn to stifling heat as they clashed with the Persians. Alexander's tactical brilliance led to a crushing victory, cementing his reputation as a masterful commander. In 332 BCE, Alexander entered Egypt, greeted as a liberator. The Nile's fertile banks provided a respite from the harsh desert, rejuvenating his weary troops. The Egyptians welcomed him, and he founded the city of Alexandria, which would become a beacon of learning and culture. In 331 BCE, at the Battle of Gaugamela, Alexander faced Darius again, this time on the vast plains of Mesopotamia. The dust clouds from marching armies filled the air, making it hard to breathe. Alexander's phalanx moved with precision, breaking the Persian lines and securing another monumental victory. With Persia under his control, Alexander turned his gaze eastward, pushing into the rugged terrain of Afghanistan and beyond. The freezing mountain passes tested the endurance of his troops, who faced ambushes and harsh conditions. Yet, their loyalty to Alexander kept them moving forward. In 326 BCE, Alexander's army reached the Indus River, confronting King Porus in the Battle of the Hydaspes. The monsoon rains turned the battlefield into a quagmire, but Alexander's men fought valiantly. Their victory was hard-won, showcasing their resilience and Alexander's leadership. Despite his desire to continue east, Alexander's men, exhausted and longing for home, refused to march further. The sweltering heat and endless jungles of India had sapped their strength. Alexander reluctantly agreed to turn back. His dreams of further conquest temporarily halted. The journey back to Babylon was grueling, with the Gedrosian desert claiming many lives. The scorching sun and lack of water pushed the soldiers to their limits. Alexander shared in their suffering, his determination inspiring his men to keep going, despite the hardships. As Alexander rested in Babylon, thoughts of conquering Rome crossed his mind. He knew of the rising power of the city-state, but was consumed with consolidating his vast empire. The dry, sweltering Babylonian summer saw Alexander planning his next moves, his mind always on expansion. Alexander focused on securing the territories he had already conquered, establishing cities and infrastructure. His soldiers, now veterans of countless battles, felt pride in their accomplishments. The administrative challenges of ruling such a vast empire required all of Alexander's strategic acumen. In his vision, Alexander saw the Mediterranean as a potential theater for expansion. He considered the logistics of moving his troops across the sea, imagining a conquest that would bring Rome under his control. However, his generals reminded him of the importance of stabilizing his current holdings first. By the late 4th century BCE, Rome was emerging as a formidable power in the Mediterranean. Their disciplined legions and strategic location posed a significant challenge. Alexander's advisors kept him informed of Rome's growing influence, urging caution and preparation. Alexander never got the chance to march west due to his untimely death in 323 BCE. His sudden illness struck him down in the prime of his life. The soldiers, loyal to their king, mourned deeply as the empire they had built began to fracture without his guiding hand. With Alexander gone, his generals divided the empire, each claiming a portion for themselves. The unity and strength of Alexander's vision dissipated as infighting and power struggles ensued. The vast empire he created was too much for any one person to control. As the successors of Alexander's empire squabbled, Rome continued to grow in power and influence. Their disciplined legions and strategic acumen allowed them to expand throughout the Italian peninsula and beyond. The Mediterranean world would soon come to know the might of Rome. Alexander's campaigns left an indelible mark on the ancient world, spreading Greek culture and ideas far and wide. His conquests paved the way for the Hellenistic period, where Greek and Eastern cultures blended. The Roman Empire would later inherit and build upon this rich cultural legacy. Had Alexander lived, his well-trained and battle-hardened troops might have marched westward. The terrain and climate of the Italian peninsula would have posed new challenges, testing their adaptability. The clash between Alexander's phalanx and Rome's legions would have been a legendary confrontation. The integration of Rome into Alexander's empire would have altered the course of history. The fusion of Greek and Roman cultures could have created an even more formidable and culturally rich civilization. The wealth and influence of such an empire would have soared, reshaping the ancient world. Though Alexander never conquered Rome, his legacy continued to influence the empire that would dominate the Mediterranean. Roman generals studied his tactics, and his vision of a united world remained an ideal. The echoes of Alexander's ambition can still be felt in the annals of history, a testament to the enduring power of his dreams. Our journey through time comes to an end for today. We embark on new adventures every week. If you relish the experience, please like and subscribe.